Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey there, Post+Institute. This is Kristi, Saul, the co-founder, coming at you live for the best little parenting show on the internet. I hope you guys are having a fabulous evening. I'm going to jump right in by plugging these two books as usual. Brian's book, From Fear to Love. We have it on promotion at feartolovebook.com. When you buy there, you can get it at a wonderful discount, and it also includes some incredible bonuses that you can't get anywhere else except feartolovebook.com. We also have this incredible workbook that has just been put out within this last, I guess, about 6 months. It is available in print on Amazon and then as an ebook at postinstitute.com. And then also Brian's book, The Great Behavior Breakdown. You can find this at postinstitute.com as well as Amazon. If you're interested in these two, we actually have a little package deal where you can get the two books for $20 plus shipping on postinstitute.com. That is a really great deal. I don't think there's any place you can get it at that price. And Mimi, good evening to you too. I hope you're having a beautiful evening. And everybody who's watching, thank you for joining me tonight for the best little parenting show on the internet. I'm trying to keep it within 5 minutes. So my topic today has to do with personal growth and all things love. We're focusing on love for the month of February. So speaking of love, I was running an errand for my love, my daughter. And while I was running the errand, I took a listen to the podcast that was posted today on our podcast channel. And it was Brian sharing a really great story about personal growth for parents coming out of moments where there are struggles. And then it also made me think about this post that was that we posted on our Facebook page. And I'm going to read it to you. It's a lot. It's a few words, but it says a lot. The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth they can accept about himself or herself without running away. The degree to which a person can grow is directly proportional to the amount of truth he can accept about himself without running away. That is a big statement, isn't it? So the story that Brian was sharing, actually there were two different stories that he shared in the podcast. They both had to do with upset children, behaviors that children were demonstrating that were really frustrating and upsetting to the parents. And the parents in both of the stories, the parents took it personally, took the behavior personally. And it was like in the moment they took it personally, but on just underneath the taking it personal, where there was the noticing. So that's one really big step of personal growth, is even noticing that you're taking something personal and being able to question whether or not, y'all are killing me. Rebecca, you have no idea. Literally, I almost forgot my microphone. And so I am absolutely so in love with you right now for noticing. That's when you know we're like family, man. I love that. Thank you, Rebecca. I remembered my microphone. Creating new habits. That's right. So in these stories, both of the stories were stories where the children were having behavior challenges, and the parents in both stories took it personal. And in both stories, that first step of awareness, of I'm taking this personally. That is the first step of a truth that we can accept about ourselves without running away. Personal growth. I'm taking something personal. Why am I taking this personal? So in the first story Brian was sharing in the podcast, he then was talking about how this one mom had the insight and awareness to go upstairs. Actually, I think she went upstairs to her closet and gave herself permission and space to experience her feelings. And in the process of doing that, she was able to uncover that the experience of taking it personal was directly related to an earlier life trauma that she had experienced in her childhood, a major loss that she had experienced in her childhood that took place over a long period of time, like a loss of voice, not being heard, not being respected in her family. And so it really led to much the fact that the behavior happened, and then the fact that she took it personal, the fact that she had the awareness that she was taking it personal, that's gold, right? Then the fact that she was like, oh my God, all these feelings are coming up that I want to spew, but I know I don't want to spew it on my children. Whoa, talk about some huge growth. Then to be able to create a situation where her kids were safe enough, go upstairs, do some processing of these feelings and find out what it was that was going on for her underneath, coming to understand a truth about herself without running away from it. Being able to feel our feelings, not just in this free flow flood without purpose, like to get lost in them. And sometimes that happens, and that's okay. But it's wonderful when it all comes, and then we can kind of connect these dots of why it is we're feeling the way we're feeling, and that it doesn't have anything to do with our children, doesn't have anything to do with our spouse, doesn't have anything to do with our boss, whatever. Many, many times the things that when we get most reactive about something, it's because something's triggered that's connected to an earlier life experience. So when we can dig into our own blueprints, we can uncover beautiful knowledge about ourselves. And this is not about saying that our parents were terrible, horrible people. Sometimes trauma happens innocently. Trauma happens because the dominant story of parenting at the time. Trauma happens because life happens. And so this isn't like, I'm not trying to promote us looking at our parents and just fault finding, but looking at it for the wholeness of what it is. Rebecca says the awareness we are aiming for, where's the trigger coming from? Exactly. And it's hard. It's until you get used to thinking this way, and until you get used to being able to use sort of this outward, sort of this ability to get outside of yourself and to get outside of the situation so you can see the bigger picture, it can be really, really difficult. Once you get to the place where you do that a few times, where you find yourself kind of outside, and I find it happens when you go back and you process the situation after the fact, and you do that over time, the gap between the processing and the moment gets smaller and smaller because our self-awareness grows. And so as our self-awareness grows and our understanding of our children grow, we have more ability to have those kinds of insights closer to being right in the moment. And when we can have those kind of insights, it helps us to calm our own stress, our own trigger, our own amygdala. That puts us in a position for actually being able to be more fully present for our children. It helps the situation not become all about us and our trigger, but it helps us be able to be that calm, loving presence that our children need so they can process what's triggered for them. So, in my mission to make sure we talk about love every night during the month of February, every night I want to make at least one simple statement about love that we can let percolate. So, of course, and now my computer screen went down, and you guys know, wait, maybe I'll find it. Here we go. 1 Corinthians 13. It's a scripture that people quote who aren't even like following biblical principles. Love is patient. There's many others that it mentions, but we'll talk about those too. Love, the energy of love is patient. The stress model says all behavior arises from a state of stress. Or you could also say all behavior arises from a stimulus of some sort. All stress isn't bad. We have to have a certain amount of stress to get ourselves up and going and doing what it is that we're called to do day in and day out. All behavior arises from a state of stress. Between stress and the behavior are two primary emotions, love or fear. If it doesn't look and feel like love, then you can bet it's coming from a place of fear. We can really love our children, our spouses, our friends, but we may not always behave in a loving manner. When we are not behaving in a loving manner, the people that we love are not able to feel our love. So when our words of love, but our actions of love are not congruent, that creates difficulty. Love is patient. Fear says, rush, 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 rush. Fear says, if you're not on time for everything, they're going to think you're a bad parent. If they think you're a bad parent, then they're going to think you're a bad person. It could end up in your ultimate demise of everybody finding out you're just a great big fraud. Whatever story fear wants to tell you, love is patient. When we are not in a place of being patient, we have stepped out of love. We have stepped into fear. Fear telling us it must happen right now. It all must happen right now. It all must happen. They have to learn it right now. We have to do it right now. We have to be out the door right now. All the things, all the things, all the things, all the racing thoughts that get us stepping outside of love. Love is patient. Just breathe that in. Let that percolate. Maybe tap it in. Maybe tap it in. Maybe we tap in. Oh, I'm feeling really anxious. I'm feeling impatient. I am growing impatience. I'm growing patience. I remember the other day, literally about a month ago, maybe not that long ago. This is like funny. Standing at the door, trying to get out the door. And our dogs did something, and I don't know what our dogs did in that moment. I can't remember. And I remember saying out loud to my child, I do not have the patience for this right now. And then I took a deep breath and said, I guess I better grow it. And just by saying it, I don't have the patience for this right now, but I better grow some, literally lifted all of the impatience and created all this freedom. The funny thing is that sometimes when we're losing our patience, the more we try to press and the more we try to push to make it happen, the longer it ends up taking. We save time when we stay in that flow of patience. Love is patient. So I hope tonight you can set aside anything that has led you to feel impatient, anything that's led you to feel stressed out, anything that's gotten you hijacked, any of those racing thoughts. Set them aside, press pause on that, and enjoy your children. Go enjoy your children. That's why we have them. Let them lead in playing. Let them pick what you watch on TV. Go take a walk. Go shoot some hoops. Go play some catch. Wrestle around on the floor. Go flop in their bed if they're teenagers. Go be annoying for as long as you can get away with it. Go spend time with your children. Let the love you have from them shine from your eyes. Adjust the position of your heart, because that will change all your physiology. Even if it's rough, even if it's been a rough day, they need your refreshment. They need the refreshing love that you bring to the table, that you have to offer. You are the thermostat for your family. Let them feel your love. And remember what Brian tells us: in any moment, we can act out of the blueprints of stress and fear and overwhelm. Happens to us all. Or we can take 1 to 2 to 3 deep breaths, maybe 10, maybe 30. We can choose love. Much love, you guys. I hope you have a blessed evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you guys for following us. Thanks for your comments on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, please comment, please share, please subscribe. If you're listening to this on a podcast through Anchor, Apple Music, or Spotify, comment, share. I know that helps bring us up in the list of podcasts so that maybe other people can hear our message. Thank you guys so much. We'll see y'all tomorrow.